On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Alexa, open SEN. For all things AFL and cricket, thanks to Drinkwise. Just ask.
Alexa, open SEN.
Overnight cricket scores or AFL news. You won't miss a moment if you Drinkwise. Just ask. Alexa, open SEN.
I was born bold.
Powered by a 100% Australian electricity and gas retailer. That's Red Energy. Switch today.
Support men's mental fitness and purchase Link's Gotcha for Life products from $2.74 each at Chemist Warehouse.
Breakfast with Gary Lyon and Tim Watson.
Welcome back. Just a magnificent morning it is. Blue sky, no wind, no breeze, wispy. Just a perfect day to get out and about and do a bit of exercise if you've got some time. Lots of... It is always fresh at this time of year, Tim, that's right. If the Sharks ride into Wines, perhaps Whispers can get him on the line. Oh, wait, that went well last time. You did try and get Greg Norman, but he didn't get back to you.
He's not doing any media at the moment, Gary, other than a program on Sirius FM over there in the States. Hey, you talk about getting out and about. I'll tell you where you can't go at the moment. You can't get across the border into South Australia. Have you got any idea about some little sneaky way of getting across the border? Is there a little track that you reckon we could take somewhere?
Thousands.
How do you love the border? How do you love?
I love Nick McCallum, your man and my man, a great Melbourne supporter, who's about to speak to Jakey Melksham, drove all the way to the South Australian border to do a story of the bloke that says, "No, you can't come in, turn around and go home."
Yes, he went down the wrong route. There's a lot of ways of getting across the border, is there not? If you've got a sneaky way of getting into South Australia, who'd want to? No, I don't even want to say that. But anyway, if you've got a sneaky way of getting into South Australia, let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know. Hey, Gary, also
thousands of people wanting to get into South Australia.
Wispy and Gary, I'm listening to SEN on my TV. There's a photo of both of you in the ocean in the rain, those shirts on, Wispy in a beanie. My husband insists it's photoshopped. I believe it really is you two. You both look absolutely ripped. That's from Jenny out there. Is it a true photo? Gary, on my behalf, please explain.
Well, Wispy looks like his body needed a good iron, Jenny, but apart from that, it was certainly us. Anyway, we digress. We must get to our next guest. He is a part of a victorious, believe it or not, a victorious Melbourne Footy Club team. They did win by a point, although not much has been said about that. And they take on Tim's Bombers this weekend. Jakey Melksham joins us. His former club, by the way. Go, Jake.
Morning, Charles. Great to be back on the show again.
We love having you.
Georgie Savios with the wine segment and the Shiraz.
Are you a wine man, Jake?
I don't mind the wine, but I thought it was Shiraz, not Shiraz. I learnt a little bit this morning, which was good.
Depends on which school you went to, Jakey.
It depends how much length you want in it, too.
I want a lot of length. I like a lot of length.
Are you a Shiraz man or a Shiraz man?
Oh, look, to be honest, I'm more of a Pinot man.
Well, there you go.
But Cale Hooker's got a nice Shiraz from over in WA, and Jordan Lewis has got a nice Pinot from down Mornington and Yarra Valley, so we've got all bases covered.
Interesting that you should raise those two men's names. Of the two of them, who do you think knows their wine a little bit better?
Oh, gee, I think if you ask both of them, they'd say themselves, but Louis pretty confident in his wine knowledge. I'll go with Louis.
We spoke to Hooksy yesterday, actually. He said he sold out of all his wine that he bought back, so they must be going nicely.
Yeah, I think both the boys have sold out. They mustn't have made too many bottles, but yeah, they've sold out. So, no, they're both very top.
How are you going anyway, Jake? You didn't play a lot of footy last year, only the 12 games, but it must be nice to finally have it back, given that you spent so much time on the sidelines last year.
Yeah, it was good. The last few months have obviously been a bit of a drag. I was getting a little bit tired of training and bored of training. So good to get back out on the track and play a game for some points because, yeah, it's been about 9 months of pre-season and we've probably only played 3 or 4 games now. So good to be back out there and good to sneak in the win.
I reckon you made a real difference to that forward line the way that you played too. I'm not going to ask you whether or not you thought that you were the missing link last year because it's a difficult question for you to answer. But in terms of the cohesion of that forward line, I mean, there's been a lot of moving parts there. I looked at the back line as well. I think 5 of the 6 of the defenders there last weekend hadn't played a lot of football together. It's going to take a little bit of time, is it not, for this group to become completely cohesive?
Yeah, I think it will, Tim. I think from round one, where the team had changed significantly at either end of the ground, as you said, it's going to take time. We've got main training today where we will all train as a main group. But other than that, for the rest of the week, we're training groups of 8 and 9 per player. So we actually don't even see some of our teammates, funnily enough. Not to raise that as an excuse or anything. It's just more so from a connective piece that some players we don't even get to see for half the week. So I think you'll start to see the best of all footy teams come out in about a month or so once we've played a little bit more together and trained together and particularly once these restrictions lift and we can all get around each other every day.
What did you make of the weekend? How in the review, or just even yourself personally? How do you mark that game? You got the win by a point, albeit, but you got the victory. Yet you gave up a 42-point lead. So how do you mark it?
Oh, obviously, you would have seen some of our faces, Gary, at the end of the game. I know you were there. We were a little bit disappointed in letting them back in, and Goody just come up to us and spoke about, you would have been a lot more disappointed if you had lost the game. So let's just take the wins. It's easy. It's hard to win in this caper. We've got to take the wins as they come. And the game's going to be tight. But I think when we look back and learn from that game, initially the first quarter it looked great. We were playing to win. We were playing our brand of footy, and then we took the foot off the pedal a little bit and tried to play as if we were saving the game, I would say. So the game slowed down. Carlton lifted their intensity around the footy, and then we started to lose some critical contests in the air at either end. So once we started to save the game, it looked totally different and let Carlton back in. But you would have saw in the last 10 minutes of that last quarter, we started to play to win again, and we lifted and got over the line. So that was the learning from the week. And, yeah, obviously we want to just take that into this week to be able to play that way for longer. Yeah,
there were, and 7 changes. I know it was over 11 or 12 weeks, but you had 7 changes to that side that played in the first game against West Coast. So you had some debutants too, which I thought were pretty impressive, particularly Rivers, cross half back.
Yeah, they were really good. Trent's got a ready-made body. If you have a look at him, he's got tree trunks for legs, and he's quite powerful, and some of his fight to the death situations on the weekend and contests were awesome, and the boys loved that down back. And big Luke Jackson is a real presence. I don't think he knows how good he can be at the moment. He's so athletic, and he gets after it on the ground. And I think the more footy that those young blokes play, the better. And obviously Harley Bennell, who's when he's up and going, is an A-grader of the competition. So yeah, once again, once these boys start playing more footy and we all start playing together, you'll see the best of them, no doubt.
Were you amused, Jake? We're talking to Jake Melksham from Melbourne. Were you amused about all the conversation that took place around Max Gawn not being part of the boys singing the song at the end of that game last weekend?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. My wife came in and said to me on Tuesday that they were still talking about it on the news. And to be honest, not to throw anyone under the bus, but James Harms had the GoPro after the game from the media team, and he was doing some filming down the race and into the rooms, and he's like getting the boys around, let's sing the song. So we all just followed James's lead, and we didn't realise that 3 or 4 of the boys were still out there doing interviews and whatnot. So it was a pure mistake. I know a lot of people have been carrying on and saying it was a disgrace and whatnot, but we weren't doing it out of spite. It was just purely a mistake. So
there were a couple of my colleagues on the couch on Monday night who
outraged.
They took it really seriously. Rewalt and Brown, who are 2 great leaders in their own right. Why do you think they saw it as such a slight?
Well, I think probably because Max is the captain, and it's a traditional thing. I know a lot of people have been texting and commenting on certain certain media places about that they haven't seen anything like this in their whole time. So, of watching footy for however long that may be. But, yeah, I'm not too sure. What do you guys think of it? It was purely mistaken. I know Max took it lightly and made fun of it, but...
Yeah, I think that the perspective around it, so you're trying to work out how it happens, right? So normally you go, righto, get in the circle, look around, is everyone here, let's go. And I guess now that you tell us about the GoPro and you can see how clowning around you start singing without the realisation that everyone's there. I mean, I did say on Monday night, if I was as certain as Melbourne getting that right next time they sang the song as I was of them getting every other chink out of their game, then they'd win the premiership. So I think you'll be on pretty quick.
Well, the thing is as well, you got to remember that we're not linking arms and getting in a circle and looking around waiting for everyone to get in. We're sort of standing around at the minute real awkwardly looking at each other and getting ready to sing the song. So there was a little bit of that as well. And obviously, as I said, James Harm's carrying on with the GoPro, getting everyone all excited. So, but I guess the good part about it was we sang the song twice. So we've got to look at it in that perspective.
Hey, Jake, you left Essendon on good terms, so there was no bit of departure there from the club. But you play against your old team at the weekend. Does that invoke for you any emotional feelings coming back and playing against a team that you spent a lot of time at?
I actually thought about this the other day, Tim. Not anymore, really. This is my fifth year now at Melbourne. I spent 6 years at Essendon and I've nearly spent the same amount of time here, would you believe it? It's gone that fast. But I think early on, myself and Michael Hibberd were playing it. There was a bit of that there, but there's honestly only about 4 or 5 blokes still there that we played with, and that we're quite close with. So, we'll run past Hooksy and Tommy and Hurls and give them one in the ribs and whatnot. But apart from that, it'll just be the usual game. And I guess there's no crowd there either ripping into us whenever we get the ball, so it'll be quite different this time.
How's Christian Petrarca getting around at the moment? We love his exuberance, and he's always got a bit of a cheeky grin. I don't think he lacks in confidence, and nor should he, the way he's going about at the moment.
I think he's trying to keep it all together, but you can just tell he's bursting with excitement. He's a very he's a young kid that's super energetic and obviously he's playing some good footy at the minute. So, Clayton Oliver and Angus Brayshaw, his good mates, his younger boys are ribbing him a little bit, trying to get him to take the lid off it. But he's going well. He's working super hard on his game, and I guess that's what the most pleasing thing about it is that it's starting to come together for him through all the hard work that he's putting in, not just at training, but in and around training and when we're not at the club. So hopefully, I think he'll carry that on for the rest of the season.
Okay, Jake, you've been around the game a long time. A prediction, I don't normally ask this of any player that comes on our program, but who wins and by how much at the weekend between you and Melbourne? Between you and Essendon?
You don't usually ask that, but you've thrown it on me. Thank you.
Well, you're such a mature young man. I thought, you'll be able to handle this question.
Yeah, I watched Essendon on the weekend and they were playing some good footy. I think both brands are very exciting when they're up and going. I think it's going to be a close one, but I think we get over the line, of course.
Nicely done, Jakey. Good luck. Great to talk to you. Love it when you come on. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries, boys. Just get Georgie to send me some of that Shiraz. So I won't mind it.
with a nice length about it. Jake Melksham.
Nice length. Thanks, Dol.
With us for Cleanaway. Up your disposal efficiency with Cleanaway. We might have to whack Jakey on our WhatsApp. No. Have you organised that yet? I left that with you, the WhatsApp wine group.
I tell you what, I want Jake on high rotation. He's excellent. He is excellent. And no, I haven't done anything about our wine.
Why haven't you?
I've had so many other things that I've had to attend to in recent times, including kidney stones that crippled the pool for a week.
I had a call from a doctor who said,
really?
he said they're bad. Really? I said 5 weeks off work bad, and the bloke just started laughing. That's what he said to me. Well, let's take a break. You can discuss it on the other side.